and welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin, and in the Pip and Pin Ravelry group. Today is April 17th, and it is episode 54. It's been I missed last week. I feel like I've been really good about doing weekly. I was getting into such a good groove, but I skipped last week. A couple different reasons. We're home, and George is home, and last week was her first official week of homeschool. So when this pandemic kind of all started, Georgia had just started spring break. So she had 2 weeks off of spring break. And then, of course, they decided not to start any schools up again after that. So there was kind of a week of transition for teachers to get what they needed to get ready and all that sort of stuff. So it was basically like a 3-week spring break. And then we just started homeschooling. We just finished our second week this week. And I feel very thankful. I'm going to kind of preface this episode again with, I'm going to try not to talk about it too much. I know that this is a knitting podcast and we could all use a little break from everything, but I also know that I like to know what's going on with other people too and how they're handling things. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I'm not going to go into too much detail or anything like that, but this is just our home situation now, so I'm going to tell you about it. This is what my life is like at the moment. We just finished our second week of homeschool, and I feel lucky for a couple of reasons. First off, Georgia's teacher is amazing. She's in kindergarten, so I know that different age kids have different things that they have to do. I feel thankful that George is in kindergarten. I feel thankful for George's kindergarten teacher, and I feel thankful for the school district that we're in. For her specifically, basically what her teacher has said is, and what she's done is she's made a little outline. It's maybe about half an hour of stuff to do every day. Some of it's online. Some of it's just like, read a book and talk about it, or here's a number, like we got a couple of little workbooks and things like that, and do this page today, and it's all fun little things. Georgia really likes school and learning and all this stuff, so it's not a chore to do homeschool. She actually asks me to do it, so that is also very nice, as well as her teacher and the school district in general is basically, they've said, do it if you can. That's kind of the attitude around here. It's not a requirement. It's not a, nobody's getting graded on this. There's no attendance. There's no tallies. Like, her teacher is just giving us stuff to do if we feel that we have what we need to be able to do it. If not, that's okay. I know there was, we got a full week the first week, and then a full week the second week as well, even though the Monday was Easter. And Justin was actually off work until Tuesday. We were supposed to go camping. That was a whole other thing. So we only did the 3 days. We did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because Monday and Tuesday, Justin was home and we were doing other things. So it was like, well, we kind of interspersed some of the stuff from those days into this week, and it's been really good, and it's been really nice to know that there isn't a lot of pressure. I know that's not the case for everyone right now, and I know people are having a much harder time than we are. I hope that you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing good with kids at home, or no kids at home, or families, or alone, or whatever your situation is. I hope that it's okay. Yeah, so that's where we are right now. Georgia is right now. She's on FaceTime talking to her cousin in Hawaii. So I think they're playing Lego together. So that's really cute. Anyway, so that's kind of been my reason. I haven't had a lot of time to knit. I know now why, I really only started filming regularly, weekly, when Georgia started going to school. And because it just makes things a little harder when there's other things going on at home, of course. Also, I just didn't feel knitting. I just wasn't feeling it. I did knit quite a bit. And it was funny because I was talking to Justin because I did start a project that I'm really excited about. So like my mojo has returned. So I'm very excited to be podcasting and sharing what I've been doing with you guys. But it was funny because I started this project, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And I was sitting on the couch with Justin and I was like, man, like, feels so good to be knitting again. Like, oh, I'm so happy that I'm like, able to do this. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I haven't really like been knitting. And he's like, yes, you have. Like, you knit all the time. Like, yeah, but I haven't been knitting. Like, there's a difference between, there was a little bit of work knitting that I was doing and like things I was doing just to kind of keep busy. And then there's knitting where you're really excited about what you're making. Two very different things. So I am back on the being really excited train and very excited about it. That makes any sense at all. Some people are probably just like, Megan, you're a crazy lunatic. Maybe I am. Anyways, I do have some knit-along stuff to talk about, but I figured for this episode, because I'm kind of light on the knitting, because some of it I can't share with you quite yet, I'm just going to kind of intersperse that with the rest of the episode. Instead of doing it all in one chunk at the beginning, because it all kind of has to do with other things anyways. So we'll just go with whatever wants to happen today. So I will start off with what I'm wearing. And this is probably one of my very favorite things that I've knit, is probably my most worn knit. And this is, of course, my Maimie cardigan. It is a pattern I designed and released last spring. It's a top-down raglan. It's very like loose, open cardigan. It's fingering weight. It has this lovely honeycomb brioche, which is done a little differently than, so I'm told. This is kind of the way, I just did it the way that I learned how to do it. And apparently it's just very different than what YouTube says to do. So I don't know. Anyways, there's this honeycomb brioche, nice stockinette sleeves that are nice and wide and open. It's just one of those things to throw on over everything all the time. I wear it all spring. I've been wearing it constantly so far this year and all of last fall, and it's lovely. Also, it's free right now. So I will put a link to it down below to the pattern on Ravelry. It's free on Ravelry until the end of April. And that is part of one of our knit-along things. It's part of the Social Distance Knitting Club. And it's a thread up on Ravelry. I'll make sure I put a link to it down in the description box below here. Basically what that is, it's not a knit along per se with big prizes and things like that. It's more of like a discussion group gathering place for this whole social distancing thing. I have discussion prompts so you can share your projects, and I think we were talking about food last time. I'm going to do a couple pattern giveaways in the next couple days here. This is part of it. It was free. I had a birthday sale. I'll probably be doing something kind of near the end of the month to do with patterns and whatnot. Yeah, so check that out. It's a really great group. It kind of took off a lot bigger than I expected it to, and thank you for everyone who's participating in it. It's really, really nice to read what everybody's working on, what everybody's eating, what everybody's doing, and how everyone's coping. So yeah, if you feel like you want to go take a peek at that, just go check out the group there. For works in progress, I have two that I can show you. I have a finished object as well, but I can't show you. Beginning of May, I'll be able to talk about it more. But until then, you'll have to wait. So I have 2 works in progress that I can show you. The first one here is, let me tuck in all these ends here. Half done. This is the High Desert Sock. It's a pattern by Lindsay Fowler. And it is a nice, like, chunky sock. And you knit it with fingering weight yarn held double. I'm doing mine in 6 and 7 fiber. I can't remember what the base is called, but it's the one that they call for in the pattern. The contrasting colors here, I don't remember what they are. But they're there. I do like this pattern, but I feel like this sock is going to be too big for me. I'm doing the adult extra small, and I feel like my gauge must be off because my stitches are I went down in needle size. I think I'm going to start these over and go down even another needle size. They're just loose and big, and they'd be great slipper socks, but I'm kind of wanting them more to be boot socks, so I think I will restart them. And probably change up this heel as well. But I do really like the pattern, and I really want these. I originally I'm a little bit stalled on these because I originally started them because we were supposed to go camping up at our favorite spot last weekend to go over Easter. It was George's birthday. It was Justin's birthday. So that was going to be like, it was my birthday on the 3rd. So that was going to be our like family trip, birthday, Easter thing that we were going to go do. That didn't happen, of course, so we did cancel the trip, and disappointing, but I mean, we had to. And so these were going to be, I was going to finish these and like wear them at the lake, but then we canceled the trip, and so I was just like, so they have a little bit of, I don't know, sadness in them, so they need to get ripped out. I might change some colors around too, and we'll see about those. I really love the main color, but yeah, I think they just need to be redone. Maybe they need to wait till the fall. I don't know. Knitting a giant pair of socks coming into summertime, probably not the best idea. I'm already not wearing socks anymore. It's been super beautiful here. It was 20 degrees yesterday. It's cloudy and raining today, but still warm outside. So I think sock weather is pretty well done for me. There might be the odd cold day, but definitely not DK weight sock days. So those maybe I'll just put off making another pair until fall. Who knows? So the thing that I'm really, really excited about is I started a City Limit sweater. This is a pattern by Tanis Lavalley of Tanis Fiber Arts, and it's amazing. I started it on Sunday, so I started it 5 days ago, and I'm probably going to finish the body tonight for sure. It is going very quickly. It's super engaging. Maybe I'll even pop in a picture of the pattern here so I can talk about it a little more before I show you mine. Basically, it's a simple top-down raglan sweater, and you can use worsted weight or fingering weight held double, which is what I'm doing, and kind of marl and faded stripes. So yeah, I think just the combination of not having to think about what I'm knitting, because when I'm designing things, I have to think about things. So knitting someone else's pattern is always a bit of a brain break for me anyways. It's stockinette, and it's easy to knit, but there's color changes, so it's also interesting. It's the perfect sweater for right now. For me, anyways. And so this is what mine looks like. And I shared a couple different color options. You can see my ends kind of coming out here because this is actually, you knit it with the like you knit it in stockinette, so it's technically inside out right now, but this is the way that I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it with the pearl bumps on the outside. I love these little, like, I just love these things running down the sides and on the raglan increases so much. And I'm really, really happy with the colors that I've chosen here. This white is autumn and indigo. This blue is also autumn and indigo. This was actually a sport weight, so my yardage was a little bit less. I know lots of people are doing this pattern with 5 colors. I actually added a 6th color. So if you watched the last episode, this is the option 2. So it's the teal to green fade. But I added this medium gray in just to make my stripes smaller so that I could potentially have enough yarn. Someone pointed out, like, make sure you check your yardage because it's a sport weight. And thank you for whoever pointed that out to me last time, because I did not think about that at all. And I'm really glad that I did add that 6th color, because even with it, I did run out of the blue. And so I wanted to keep my stripes consistent. I probably could have changed, like, could have just done, because it's in this marling section here, that is about 4 rows short. And here, I'll put it up a little bit, because what I did is, here's the all straight blue, here's the blue and gray, and then I had 4 more rows to do to complete my stripe pattern. And I just found a light gray that was kind of the same tone as this blue and did the last 4 rows in the gray. I don't know if you can really tell with this light. You can tell as I'm looking at it, but I think it's okay. I'm not too worried about it. I don't think it takes anything away from the sweater at all, because it's all just marling and fun. So this autumn and indigo, this is a gray that I just kind of had in my stash. I think I lost the band for it. I'm not sure what it is. This is also autumn and indigo. This one that you can't see because it's curling up. This is this one here, which is Sweet Fiber in the Marshland colorway. This used to be a Mount Pleasant that I took apart. And then my last color is going to be this, which is super, super dark green, almost black. And it's from Plucky Knitter. I really love this. It's fitting really nicely. My gauge was off, so I just adjusted and did stuff. I don't know. It just, like, it was a sweater that I didn't have to think about at all. I picked pretty colors that I liked and made me happy. And I'm very, very excited about it. And it's just knitting up so, so quickly. So yeah, my moto is officially back. I have a feeling I'm going to be done this sweater within 2 weeks. So maybe not by the next time I podcast, but by next Sunday, I think, for sure. Actually, my friend Sam, who hosts the Hand Me My Knitting podcast, she's knitting this sweater as well. And so we've decided to do a knit along for it. So if you head over to either of our Ravelry groups, I'll put the links down below. In her group is the chat thread. So you can talk about your colors and share your progress and all that kind of good stuff. The finished object thread is in my group. So if you are knitting it and have knit it, then you can post your finished one in my group. There's going to be prizes in both threads, so make sure you participate in both. And I think this is going until June the 8th, something like that. Does that sound right? Yeah, June 8th sounds right. So, and works in progress are allowed. So if you've already started this, I know she did have this pattern for free for a little while. So if you caught that and started it already, great, you can still participate. If you're knitting this amazing sweater, any size, kid size, I know there's kid sizes too. Yeah, just come check out our groups and join our knit along. Actually, you know, it's something funny about this sweater. I really liked it as soon as it came out. And after I started knitting it, I realized a couple things. One, I designed a sweater recently. It's not out yet, and it's for next fall. But it has something similar to this. It doesn't go all the way down the body, but like there is definitely a detail like this on the raglan, and it's meant to be with the pearl side out. And also, the last sweater that I knit Georgia, I made out of a bunch of mini skeins of hers that she had collected. I would buy them for her when I would go to Knit City and things like that. And I did the same technique. I'm actually going to go grab it. I can't find it. It is somewhere in our house. Don't know exactly where it is. I'll put a picture of it though, because I know I do have some photos of it. But I did the same kind of marling striping effect with her mini skeins. I think I did a Gramps, because I usually knit Gramps by Tin Can Knits for Georgia's. And it turned out really cute. And I totally forgot about it until I started doing this. I was like, oh, I've done this before. So, yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about having white right here. Just because of coffee, etc. We'll see how it goes. And that's what I've been working on for the past week. That's really all I've been working on for the past week. And I'm super excited about it. It's feeling really nice to get into normal things. I was talking about this the other day, but I feel like because it was my birthday and Georgia's birthday and Easter and Justin's birthday, and we had this trip that we canceled and like all this stuff. So it was like I was still trying to make things magical. But I feel like now that all of that stuff is done, now that all the birthdays are done, now that Easter is done, now there's no like, now we can just get into typical routine everyday stuff and not have to worry about doing anything extra. So now I can just focus on work and Georgia's school and, you know, getting outside and doing all those things without having the added pressure of anything else. So that's nice. And I think that's why I wasn't knitting and now I can knit again, because I'm just not. I know some people were knitting so much because they're anxious and stressed, and no, when this whole thing started, I just flatlined. It was just, no, I'm not doing anything, nothing. But yeah, so that's been nice. And other things that I've been doing, I've been watching a lot of shows. We've been going out for walks and bike rides. I fixed my bike up, so that's been nice to have to go out for bike rides with Georgia. I was telling Justin last night that we kind of went out in the evening, just Georgia and I, and we were just biking around, and we live on kind of a busy road, but then behind us is like more of a neighborhood, and there's no cars on the road, and it was a beautiful day, so people were out, and there were like kids skateboarding and people out walking their dogs, and everyone just like doing these things and working in their garden, and there was no cars, and like it wasn't busy, and that was also really nice. It just felt very different and very wholesome. I've been watching a lot of shows. A couple of the ones that I just finished were the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That one was on Amazon Prime. Super good. And then actually last night I really I started Unorthodox. It was a limited series. It's on Netflix, maybe? Can't remember. And I was planning on, I'll just watch an episode and then I'll go to bed. I watched the whole damn thing. Like the whole thing. Just start to finish. I think it was 4 hours or something. I went to bed way too late. But it was so engaging. It's a drama, and it's basically the style of books that I read in a really well done format. I read a lot of memoirs and things like that, and this was just the book translated very nicely onto screen. So if you're into memoir-y things like that, dramas, I would suggest watching that. It's basically about an Orthodox Jewish woman who leaves Williamsburg. That's kind of the premise. I won't give too much away, but I was definitely like, there was a point where I just stopped knitting. And I know that when I stop knitting is when I'm so enthralled that I just like can't. So there was that. And then the other thing that I really enjoyed watching was it's a documentary on YouTube called Coachella 20 Years in the Desert. If you don't know, Coachella is a music festival that's held in California every year. And last weekend would have been they have 2 weekends now, but last weekend would have been the first weekend of the music festival. I went for 3 years. I went in 2006, 2007, and 2008. My brother and I and our friend Peter, who is now my sister's husband, and some other people some of the times. We drove down and I spent 2 or 3 weeks, I think, driving down, going to the concert and driving back up. And the first year that I went, I was actually in 12th grade, and my mom let me skip school to go and to go to this music festival, and that was super amazing. If you watch the documentary, it's the way that they did it was very cool because they kind of did it by genre almost, because it has all sorts of different music, and it's kind of evolved as the years go on, of course. And so they did it by different genre. So if you are watching it and you happen across the part called, what's it called? What do they call it? Something about robots. I don't remember. The part about robots. That was me. That was my time frame, and that was my Coachella experience. If you wanna put it that way. Little known fact, I used to be a house DJ in my early 20s. We did, my brother and I and Peter and a couple of our friends, we DJ'd, and we would do house parties, and we did a couple of not big shows. We did a couple of things in Vancouver, and it was a really fun time. So that was a thing. That was one of my past lives. I was a house DJ. Now I'm really just babbling. So, yes. If you're knitting City Limits, come and join our knit along. If you want to chat about things, what you're working on, what you're eating, what you're doing during this social distance thing, come check out our social distance knitting club. I think that's it for today. Just a quick little one. Hopefully I'll have, now that I'm back at it, hopefully I will have some more knitting content for you next week. And thank you all for joining me. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you guys in a week. Bye.